my good friend, colleague, drinking buddy, Paul Kirschbaum, and we are talking about beer. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but we're recording the intro as part of the outro, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you join us for this three-part series. We're going to go over light beers, IPAs, and then hit it with the dark beer and the stout. So three-part series. It's going to be hilarious. I strongly recommend you grab a beer or three and get a light one, get a IPA, and get a stout. Join us. Join the conversation. Hang out with us. We're
All right. I know what you picked out on this one for fact.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect your choice, but I think mine's better.
I won't even argue with you. Yeah, Murphy's versus Guinness.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was a big ol'.
Now, let me tell you my Guinness story real quick.
I've been to the brewery.
Been to the brewery, and I will hands down tell you that this Guinness right here that I'm going to pour is just as good as the beer that I had in the brewery. 100%. I agree with that with my whole heart.
Okay.
And one, I actually believe it because I think it tastes the same. Two, I know for a fact that the brewery spends a lot of money making sure that there are ambassadors over in different countries tasting the different cans or bottles or whatever they have to make sure that the flavor is intact wherever they go. So anytime somebody says, well, the brewery's better, all they're doing is insulting Guinness, saying that you can't get your shit together. Like you don't know how to create that flavor in a can or in distribution.
So you know they have a brewery in England too, right?
Yeah.
You know the beer that's brewed in England goes to Ireland, and the stuff brewed in Ireland goes to England.
And they taste test it to make sure that it's equivalent.
I'm not arguing with you. I don't think you're wrong. I don't know. I would say maybe 20, 30 years ago it wasn't that way.
Sure.
I think there's a reason why. I mean, some things are like shrouded in history, or there's this and that. And they got different beers or blah, different batch. I mean, it does take longer to get here.
You're a batch.
I am. Cheers.
Cheers.
My head's way better than yours. So, I mean, nice. So that could possibly, I mean, it there might have been a truth to the story back 20, 30 years ago.
Fair.
But now I would be surprised. But I mean, I went to the Heineken brewery, and the difference between that's bottle, because the bottle's green and it lets in the light, and then you actually will skunk your beer. So right. That is different. So there is a difference between canned, bottled, because Guinness is a nitro. I mean, you are running a line, a different gas. You're not running the normal gas that goes to beer. So we're using these little things in the bottom that are shooting out. But if we're using this exact same one here in the same can over in England or Ireland, it should be technically the same. As long as apples, oranges, oranges.
Right. And I'm talking on technicalities. Somebody with a much finer, refined palate than I can probably tell the difference between this can, this 4-pack versus this 4-pack versus this 4-pack in Canada versus this 4-pack. Sure. I believe that 100%, that somebody can tell the differences. But for the average person who's saying, no, the beer in the brewery was better, is an idiot living off of nostalgia. Now, did I love going to the brewery and having that beer? That was a phenomenal experience. I loved it.
Best view of the city.
Oh, it's amazing.
The highest point, yeah. Well, but again, though, less. If you're talking IPA, as it gets older, does not get as good. Some beers.
That's the whole point of it, though. That's where it came from.
The freshness of an IPA right out, and 6 months later, I think the flavor changes a little bit.
Agreed. But we were talking about
last longer. I mean, IPAs were designed to last long. But for Guinness, I think there could have been a time when it was coming over on a damn ship, it might have been a little different. I don't know. I've just guessed. I'm just arguing with you for arguing's sake.
Great. So you got a Murphy's, and I love a Murphy's.
I love good Murphy's. I really do.
But I think it's nostalgia, because I had a hard time getting into beer. Maybe it was because I started with Red Dog. I had a hard time getting into beer. And so I had to go the cider route in order to learn about beers, because again, you had a German father who helped you with beer. I had to go with ciders to learn about beer. And now there's no beer that I really turn my nose up at. It took me a long time to get to really enjoy beer. So I went ciders. Hornsby's was like the beer that I went to in my early 20s.
Magners is the best cider on ice.
I'm gonna agree.
Greatest hangover. Greatest hangover in the world. If you're hungover and you're in the middle of New York City, drinking Magners on ice, it will change your life.
100% agree and confirm. Yeah. So cider was how I got my introduction to beer, and my movement into beer loving, which is now my life, was through Guinness. I had a roommate who only drank Guinness, and I started drinking Guinness with him. And so I went from ciders to Guinness and then down the flavor profiles until I really gained an appreciation of beer. So I think for me, I like Guinness over Murphy's, maybe because of nostalgia, because just that's what I grew up on.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. I can't even argue. Like, I think Murphy's tastes better.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was at a bar and I go, do you have Murphy's? No, we have Guinness. Okay, thank you.
And the opposite is true. Now,
I'm not going to get upset about it.
Right.
You know?
Not
but
mad.
I mean, again, I've lost up nostalgia. There's a lot of things that food-wise. There's a lot of things. So I mean, it's a legit reason to like something over something else.
Nostalgia, absolutely. And if somebody says that they like the Guinness they had at the brewery in Ireland better than the one that they're having here in the States, I totally agree with that. But don't tell me that the flavor profile is that much different, because I won't buy that for a moment.
Well, that's just your environmental. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Like, there's some things I love. I love Dos Equis. Is it really good beer? I'm not going to argue it. I love the green bottle. Give me a lime in it. No salt. I
don't want lime in my beer ever.
I have scurvy. I lived in Australia, and one of my favorite beers of all time, and if I see it on the menu, I buy it no matter what, because it is nostalgia, is Cooper's Pale Ale. I love Cooper's. It is amazing beer. I love it. Has a sediment in the bottom. You got to twist it. Great beer. But is it the greatest beer? I mean, people argue me all day long. That stuff, no, that's not good. You do this, and this. Like, I like that beer. I have a good memory of this. It makes me happy. I'm drinking beer, makes me double happy. A, beer makes me happy, and B, reminds me of something that makes me happy. So it's double happy. And then all I really want to know, Les, is what you're thinking about that most people think is ridiculous.
Oh.
Which story? Transition.
Oh. Did I already forget it? School. What am I? Oh, yes. All right. So.
No facts.
This is fun.
I don't want facts yet. I want to tell you what you believe. I'm going to tell you what I believe, and then we can go to a little bit of facts and background.
Oh, okay. So I seriously hope somebody's watching this and listening, because I've got facts to back it up. And that's the crazy thing, is that aliens landed in Roswell. Your turn.
Oh, okay. I 100% believe in ghosts.
One, you're an idiot. Go ahead. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I believe in ghosts. 100%. I've had some. I mean, it's not like I've been like hanging out with one. And Casper's coming here pouring me a beer, but when I was a kid, I think I had some very strong encounters there, Jack.
When I was a kid, I used to climb underneath the blanket on my parents' bed and lie as flat as I could. And they'd walk through the room going, "Oh, where's Leslie? Where's Leslie? We can't find him." And I thought that I was flat.
I wasn't acting as a ghost, Leslie.
But do you know what was really happening? My parents were placating me because they knew I was trying to hide, and they're like, "Oh, we can't
you're
hide
right.
them."
My
And
my
they
dad.
actually believed that I could lay there flatter than the sheets. No, Paul, those weren't ghosts.
Those were ghosts. Okay. I hate to
Are we
break it to you,
done?
brother. You know what? I'm gonna haunt your ass. That's all I'm gonna
Please
do.
do. Please do.
I'm gonna give you the. I'm gonna haunt your ass. By the way, this is this controller you see. I actually have a foot massager going while I'm drinking my my Murphy's.
My dog keeps licking my feet. Is that the same thing?
That's just weird.
I'm just kidding. My dog's in the room. Just
Oh,
kidding.
saying that. I mean, I have a dog. Lola's around here somewhere, but I don't let her lick my feet.
I'm kidding. No, he's not a licker. Yeah. Like, I insist he's not. It's a joke because you're holding this weird remote. Like, come on. Here's my beer drinking joke.
All right, let's go, Roswell. Go. And don't bring up this Army 1942 crap.
So what do you want me to bring up? And it wasn't 1942 because my dad was
46.
born in 1954.
Oh, I'm off by 12 years. Sorry.
Yeah. And joined the Air Force, which was in Roswell. That's not the Army, it's the Air Force. And he was part of Air Force Intelligence, which is why I went to Angelo.
Go on.
Well, that's funny. Yeah, military. And yeah, like San Angelo is part of my life. San Angelo, Abilene, like all of that. So because my dad was stationed in Roswell, which I lived in, and Angelo State, which I lived in, which is all Air Force intelligence bases, and he was there when it happened.
Oh, what did he say?
He says that he has seen the wreckage and that he has seen the test flights of the aircraft fly off and make a 90-degree turn. So I have secondhand information about the crash in Roswell.
Wow. Do you go there?
I did. I'm going to trust my dad over anything at all.
I am not questioning your father.
Because exactly, like, it's not just me reading stuff. It's like, Dad, aliens exist? He's like, yeah. Like, he looks at you like, yeah, of course we found them.
I don't argue on the aliens exist part at all, because I would think that we were ignorant to think that we're the only people in this world, and not this world, but this universe.
Yeah.
There's got to be something else out there. There has to be, right?
Please be something else out there.
Please help us now.
If we're
in November. Before November.
Oh, that's good.
The craziest thing, we grew up in Texas, and anyway, we're not gonna go down political roads. No, who am I? I believe that there's something bigger out there. Absolutely, I believe in ghosts. I don't think it's like a boohoo ghost that's sneaking behind a room. But if you walk into a place and your hair stands up, there's something about it.
Obviously, I can't prove you wrong.
No, and I can't prove you wrong or right.
No, and the only fact that I believe it is because I have secondhand information from a father who's saying I was there. Like,
and the only thing I can say is a feeling I've had. But again, we both agree that the Earth is not flat.
God, I wish I invented that.
God, it's like the perfect cult. It is the perfect cult.
It is the perfect cult because, one, they're making money. They are making money. They're stirring up controversy. Nobody's dying for it. No, it doesn't affect the polls. It doesn't affect,
It's amazing.
It is the perfect cult. Anytime somebody talks about flat Earth, I obviously don't believe it because I don't know, smarter than that. But wish I would have started that 15 years ago.
I would have been your CFO for that, definitely.
And we would never, ever admit that it was round.
Ever. I know what you're talking about.
Even to each other.
I would not have anything around in my house. Everything would be squared, flat.
Like that
your mirror, that mirror is not round. That's actually a square mirror.
It's flat.
No, it's not. It's round.
Flat. It's 2D. It's flat.
Yeah,
it's circular, but it's flat on the wall.
But it's flat.
Flat Earth Society is the most genius thing I've ever seen in my life. And anytime somebody's like, "You're an idiot, it's round," it's some genius.
Some genius. It's gonna be like Will Ferrell or something.
It's the best marketing thing I've ever seen in my life, ever. Period.
It's pretty damn close.
Because some people get so irate trying to explain that it's round that I'm like, go ahead, tell me all about how round it is. Yeah, like
there's so many stuff out there, like the anti-vaxxer stuff. I'm not going to get into it, but
that's different. That can hurt people. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like when people like
right or wrong, people take that to an extreme, and yeah, which is again why the Flat Earth Society genius to me. Genius.
What can we think of that's the same? Can we do like I actually heard about the bird one. Have you heard of the bird one? That birds don't exist.
What?
Yeah, okay. Birds don't exist.
Birds don't
Maybe
exist.
we could do like air is too thick society. I don't know. We can think
that gravity isn't a thing. There is no gravity. What about that? Let's do that. Let's do there is no gravity. Like your feet just stick to the ground.
Okay, I can do that. Or your eyebrows are poisoning you. They're slowly creeping into your eyeballs, and that's what making me blind.
No, let's say that people can't actually jump. Let's say that people's feet are actually stuck to the earth, and that's why we don't fall off because of gravity, and people can't actually jump and deny every jumping we've ever seen.
Ever. Michael Jordan.
And for the rest of our lives, we will never jump. Be like, I can't. Can't jump. Impossible. Okay. Jumping is impossible. Your feet are stuck to this earth, which is why we don't fly off of it, because gravity's not a thing.
AJC, Anti-Jumping Commission.
Can I pour more beer into here? Oh, I got a little bit. That's.
Oh my God, this has been fun. We gotta do this more often.
For sure.
I think I might like it more than the regular ones.
I mean, it's 10:33 p.m.